Hey guys, Wayne Stevenson here. For the last 2 weeks, I've been enjoying my Eryone Thinker SE 3D printer. This baby's been a workhorse of mine ever since I got it, and I'm enjoying it more and more every day. So sit back, watch this unboxing. I'm going to give you a review, and at the end of this video, I'm going to go over a few pointers and tips that I went through setting this up and getting it printing to where I want it to be. So sit back and enjoy the ride. Hey guys, Wayne Stevenson here. Welcome to another video, and today's video we have something special for you. Earlier this week I received an Eryone Thinker SE 3D printer, and I'm gonna do an unboxing. So let's see, unbox, oh, and we're gonna do a print. Let's get started. Here we are, 3D printer. That wasn't mine, it's an Eryone. Not too shabby. Let's get her unboxed. Ooh, juicy. It's got dual Z-axis. That's cool, I didn't realize that. Big thumbs up. So far, very cool. It's got a large build plate, dual Z-axis, and looks like the bed's already attached, so I don't have to attach that. That should make assembly really quick. Let's just check the quick start guide and see what we got to go through here. So, step 1, assemble the gantry frame. I'm going to screw in 2 times M5 35 bolts and tighten them up. I'm going to assemble the right brackets, assemble the hot end. Alright, well, let's just see if we can get this out of the box. There we go. Have a little look at the nozzle while we're at it. So far, really loving this. It was packaged very professionally, and the presentation of it's just, I love it. Very professional looking. Absolutely splendid. See where we gotta connect those. It'll probably go like this. Be a bit of a challenge. Probably should have got the screws out before I did that. I'm gonna have to just try and balance that. Let's see if we can find the screws. Okay, so we've got it out of the box, packaged very professionally. I'm very impressed. The build quality, everything is solid. Loving it. Assembly instructions seem pretty straightforward. Attach the Z-axis gantry on there. Plug in a few wires, it looks like, and should be good to go for the most part. Just get a little bag of install screws. As you can see, there's not much to it. Loving this. Shouldn't be taking me much time at all to get a print started on this one. I just wanted to pause one more quick time here before we start assembling this, just to point out a few things that I've noticed so far. If you probably noticed, there were some bulldog clips holding on the glass bed here, or the glass plate, and in that little bag of screws that I flashed you there, you got bed clips. So that was just for transportation. These ones here, and they come with plastic ones, so they don't mar your aluminum bed or cut into maybe the PCB on there, I'm not sure, but comes with the clips, excellent, but comes with a toolkit. I love it. I love the thought that goes into a lot of these products these days here. Should be everything I need to assemble this thing. Comes with some extra long hex tools. Very cool. I mean, I like the ones with the big handles personally, but it comes with them. You don't have to go find them. Little micro screwdriver, a wrench. It's a 7mm, and snips. I don't know what their idea on the snips is for yet. Could be for filament, I don't know. Maybe they'll show me in the instructions, but man, these are great quality. I love the thought that went into this. Everything you need to set up is right here. You don't have to go hunting for tools or anything. Very cool. Except when you're dropping them. Alright, now that I've found that screwdriver, let's put that gantry together. Okay, so here's where the two holes are. There's another hole here where there's wire. Be careful these wires here. So these milled holes are very sharp on the edges. I don't have grommets inserted here, so if you're not careful, you could pinch that and end up slicing through the insulation on the wire. So just be very careful there. Now the provided screws here, two go here and two on the opposite side. Did come with 4 washers. Instructions didn't mention using the washers, but they've supplied them. So I'm assuming that was an afterthought. Now we need to be using them. So I'm going to use them. It's milled aluminum, extruded aluminum, which is soft. So when you're tightening these, make sure you don't over tighten them, because you'll end up stripping the holes. And that's a bad thing if that happens. Sorry for my big hand there. Nothing I can do about it. Alright, let's see, there we go. Well, that's not it. That should do. Alright. I think I'm in the hole. Now if I poked my head, oh yeah, we got it. Alright, if I poked my head, that would have been easier. Just gonna get that one started. And I'm just gonna take this opportunity to get the, oh, let's see, something's not right here. Not in the hole. Because I can see the other one here. Let's see what is going on. Oh yeah, I can see. Alright. This one's going to be a challenge. little space here to get my fingers in. Once again, we'll put that washer on. Just slide this closer to the edge of the table so I can get my fingers in there. Oh, great. So there is wire harness stuck right in the way. I wonder how I can take it out of that clip. That's annoying. Alright, I gotta look underneath there and see how that goes. Before I do that, I'm going to tighten up the other side. Snug that one up a bit. Like I said, I'm not going to tighten these right up just yet. I don't want to force it. Okay, so I went ahead and got a screwdriver here. I was having trouble with that Allen key there. Couldn't get enough torque on it with it being lengthwise. And the other way, it was catching on the cable clip. So this should do the trick. Now I'm going to get it past those wires. There we go. There we go. That's going good. I love these hex screwdrivers there. You get them off AliExpress there. I'll leave the link down below for you. Highly recommended. Okay, I gotta back this one out. It feels like it's cross-threaded. Let's try that again. Oh yeah, much better. There we go. There we go. Now I'll just snug up that other side. There. Step 2. Alright, just to recap, when you're putting that on, just be careful of those wires. There, you don't want to pinch those. You'll end up slicing through the insulation on the sharp edges there. And also be careful on the right hand side there, because you do have to get that wire harness out of the way to get those screws through. And I do recommend getting something like this, because you know, when you're screwing it like that, the end here is catching on that wire harness clip, and you don't have enough torque really to tighten those going this way. So I do recommend getting one of those again. I'm gonna have a link down below for you off AliExpress. Alright, now let's just check the instructions and move on to step number 2. What did I do with that quick start guide? Let's see. Oh, we're still in step 1. Got to put on some brackets on the side. So looks like right hand side's a T, and left hand side uses the other one with the end stop right there. I got a mechanical end stop on that. So this bracket for the left hand side, so that'll go there, and this T will go on the right hand side. It uses T-nuts there to fit into the slot there. So if you're not familiar with that, I will show you how to do that, so don't worry. So the way these work is they're going to go into the slot. You want to just loosen them off a little bit so that they spin freely. There we go. And what happens is you tighten them up, they'll spin into place in that T. Oh man, they're tight. I should probably get some pliers or something to hold them still, but this wrench might do the trick. Oh yeah, there we go. So they need to be loose enough so that they go into the slot with enough to grip it. And this is the slot that they're going into right there. So they just push in like that. There's this one we want down there, and that one we want there. It acts as a stabilizing bar. So once it's there and there, you can tighten it up. Give it a good tug, make sure it's there. If it's not grabbing, it's not good. So that's all that one takes. Here's the mechanical end stop. That's what this should be for. We'll plug that in later though. Let's move on. Okay. So same thing here. Want to make these slip right in, and as you tighten them they should spin into place. Let me see if I can show you better. I'll just tighten a couple of these first, and then I'll change the camera angle. See how that's tightened, but it's didn't grab, so that needs to be loosened up. Oh, none of them are grabbing. There we go. So if they're not grabbing, you want to loosen it up a bit more. If you look to the side, you can actually see whether they're spinning in place or not. And that's kind of what you want to make sure they do. There you go. So I'm going to loosen it up. And as it tightens, it should spin and grab, just like that. That's what you're looking for. Again. Nope. There. So if it's tightened too much, it doesn't go into the slot enough to spin. So you gotta loosen it up and then tighten it up. There. Next step here is to assemble the hot end. Looks like a couple of screws should do the trick. It's gotta be these two little guys right here. Just make sure you get that wire there so it's not pinched. So you got that braided protector there. And just tighten that up snugly like that. Now, we move on to the next step. Alright, all we need to do now is set up the extruder here before we move on to step 2. Alright, just gonna snip this bag off. Okay, so now I'm going to screw this in here, just like so. And this has got to go over there, I believe. Put this little bushing here. Not sure if that's where that should go. Let's get the bushing in first. There we go. Try now to get the screw in. The appropriate hole. Screw that down. And this one over here. Boom, just like that. Give you a little close up to see what we just did there. So, we screwed this fitting into here, and we rotate it over, put a bushing and screw there, and another screw right there. Filament will go into here, push out here into the Bowden tube. So that's what this is. Here is the Bowden tube. So we can just push that in right now, I'd imagine. Not going to hurt anything. There we go. That's good to go. Where is it? No, that's not how we want that routed. I'll have to check the way the cable goes. I might have to take this off and run the wires the other way. Okay, well, doesn't say any instructions, doesn't show any photos, but I know that the way I've done it is wrong because the Bowden tube and the wires are just going to hit the top of the gantry there. So this wire has to go underneath so that it can do the full travel up and down on the Z-axis. So let's do that now. I'll skip to, you don't need to watch me taking off those two screws, but essentially I'm just going to take off those two screws there and throw her on the other way. Okay, there we go. So we got that routed there. Just another thing to look out for. Like I said, it doesn't say it in the instructions, so luckily you're watching my video, so you don't make the same mistake I did. Alright, we're almost done. Like, this is amazing. This is probably realistically 20 minutes worth of work here. 4 screws, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws so far. Could have done it in 20 minutes if I wasn't filming. Maybe even in 5. Wow, maybe not 5, but you know what I'm saying. This is pretty quick. All we got to do now is just plug in all the stepper motors as well as our end stops. Thermistor wire, heater wire, and put on the filament holder, and we're good to go. So I think in about 10 minutes we can do our first test print. So let's see where we can plug all these wires in. Okay, well, this one here is pretty self-explanatory. Just be careful when you're pulling it so you don't slice it on the edge of that hole there. There's your end stop for the Z-axis. Tiny fingers. go. Just for the stepper motor there. And you'll have one on each side, just like right there. Those two motors will make it go up and down. Just like that. This one's a little trickier. We got a few things here. So, got the X-Min. That should go. Where's the end stop? End stop, end stop, end stop. End stop right there. How does that go there? That's going to be tricky. I'll go on to that later. What do we got here? E0. That's your extruder. That'll go right there. X-Min. What's that? X. So that's your X signal. What do we got here? That is BL. BL. Bed leveling. Well, that was the X, right? X will go here to the X motor. And now the X-Min. Oh, oops. BL. Oh, shit. It said BL, didn't it? Nope. I'll go there. X-Min. How are we going to put that in? Does that go through there and into there? Do we chance that? Let's try. Okay, I went ahead and gotten creative with that X-Min. I routed it through the hole there, through there, and through there. I don't know if that's a good idea, if that's what they had in mind, but that's what I did. Hopefully it doesn't snag on anything. And I think we are good to go. Yeah. I'll take out the rest of this foam and uncover the bed. We'll check out the motion and go from there. Oh, but before we do that, we will go to the next step, which is step 3, assemble the filament holder. And after that, we'll put the bed clamps on, and then we will get going. Making some progress. This is way cool. Loving this. Exciting stuff. Alright, here's the filament holder. Just gotta figure out where we want to put that. Got more T-nuts here on this filament holder. I'm going to mount that towards the left, towards the extruder motor there, because that's where it's going to be fed into, so I think that makes the most sense. I'll loosen these off and meet you over back at the gantry there. Okay. Alright, so I got the filament spool holder on. I might change that out a bit. Just give me a moment here. I'll grab an empty one and see how it looks. Alright, so that's how it's going to look. Filament is going to go, you know what, that's backwards. And you know what else I don't like? I don't, that can't be. That's got to go through there, I think. So that's, yeah, there's no way the filament's going to go through there. That's got to come through the top here. And the filament's got to go there. So I've got to spin this around, I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do anyhow. I'm going to move this down, so I'll have to spin these by hand. So let's just do that right now. Okay, once again, I'm going to remove this, hopefully for the last time. I've had enough friction with these Bowden tubes on my other ones, so I don't think that this is going to work optimally the way I have it set up. And that is what I hate about lack of documentation. It's not that big of a deal, but if you don't know any better, you're not going to get the results that you want. All right, there, that's better. Much better. Now, again, so when I was talking about the filament holder, I think, you see the filament's got to come from here and it's got to go into here. I think if you have that over on this side in the same path, that's going to be better. So that can go straight in. I'm going to give that a shot anyhow. Let's flip it around. Like that. There. Okay. Now that looks better. Much better. Being a bugger. There we go. There. I prefer the glass bed. My first printer, I ended up putting a glass bed on it. Absolutely love it. Wouldn't go back ever. Ever, ever. Pretty. I love this. Alright, time to put the clips on. See on my my other one I just got bulldogs like that, and I hate them because they always are in the way. So let me just take a look. See where these guys, I think these clips should go. 4 corners, a little bit in. All right. One. Two. 3. And oh. Shit. I need to get this foam out. Oh, they're just little blocks. Okay. There we go. Put that clip. Rid of that shipping foam. Here's the beautiful power supply. Plugs in with like an XT60 connector right there, so that's cool. Move that back there. Looks like I should be able to use both my printers now, right here. Let's get that power supply plugged in. Oh. Don't forget to turn it to 110 volt or 115, whatever. Got that in. Let's plug this baby in. Turn it on. Missing the knob. Where did I put the parts? Oh, extra belts, extra nozzles, tubing. Let's see what we got here. Little goodie bag. Micro USB cable, micro SD card. Oh, USB SD adapter. That's what I'm looking for. The knob. Oh, come on, get on there. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and throw the SD card in, because I'm sure there'll be a test file. And off there. Our end stops. Okay. That's working. Nice. Ready on the reset button in case we have problems. Perfect. Alright. That bed clip needs moving. There we go. Well, let's just test that. There. So it does work. I always like to test this one manually so that the nozzle doesn't crash in. always a good plan. Alright, let's finish homing this. Go to auto home. There we go. Alright guys, so far setup's been a breeze. This thing went together quick. I love it. It's got a huge bed surface, huge build area. Absolutely love it. Build quality is phenomenal. That I love as well. Like, this thing looks really professional. Professionally built. A few things I didn't like about the documentation, because it was lacking in documentation. So had to figure some stuff out on my own. Not even sure if I have it. Oh. Perfect. Not even sure I have it all figured out. I got some, got to level the bed on the nozzle and that before I can do my first test print. I'm hoping I'll have time right away. If not, I'll see you tomorrow where I can finish setting this up. Anyhow, supper time. Okay guys, welcome back. I guess our next step now is just level our bed out before we see if the motors run. The reason we do that first is we don't want that nozzle slamming down on our build surface. To do that, there's 4 knobs right here. And what we want to do is we want to move our nozzle around the build plate. As you can see, well, you probably can't see it, I'm already scratching the top here. So that tells me already that our bed is too high. So we want to drag this down. We want to drag each one down so that there's just a little bit of gap between the nozzle and our print surface. And what we want to do there is we want to use just a piece of printing paper. It's about roughly the right height, the right gap that we want. It's almost like a feeler gauge, or spark plug gap gauge. Thickness of a piece of paper is what we're aiming for here. So you can eyeball it, not a good idea. Get a piece of paper out and do that. I'm going to go grab one and I'm going to zoom in and show you how we do that. Alright, as you can see, this is kind of what we're looking for here. We're wanting that gap to be paper height. We want to do that to all 4 corners and the middle of the bed. So what we're going to do now that we have, oh, that gap's a little bit too much, so now we've got to raise the bed just a little bit. And we do that for all the corners, and that'll set an appropriate height so that when our axis hits that end stop right down there, that'll tell the printer to stop, and that will stop it on the perfect height from our build surface for us to print on. So now we just got to do, like I said, all 4 corners plus the middle. Start in the middle, work our way around. Keep on doing that till everything is perfect. Now, let's do that. Alright, so leveling our bed is the most important aspect of 3D printing. If you don't have a level bed, you're not going to have a good print. In fact, you might have might not be able to print at all. You could end up clogging your nozzle non-stop. So what, as I said, we're doing is we're looking for a paper thin gap between our nozzle and the build plate. This is the most time consuming thing about setting up a printer, but if you do it right once, you shouldn't have to mess around with it. It's kind of like something you set up once. You might have to adjust it if your print starts getting off, or from there you can go to an auto bed leveling system like a BL Touch. So once you get it leveled, then it can follow the contour. I won't get into that because this printer doesn't have one. Should have the option available to do that, though I see some holes here, so that's probably meant for that. At any rate, so what we're looking for is just a little bit of tension, but we don't want it to grab. That means we've got too much gap. So once we set one, we're going to move the nozzle. And it's starting to get tighter as we go this way. So that tells me this side has to go down a little bit. Nope, I'm going up. Let's get that good. Keep moving. And it is still getting tighter. So now, start working on the middle. Ooh, it's really tight. So that tells me also now that I gotta go to the back side and move that down. In the past, actually, I've just gone ahead and tightened all the them up and then slowly raised that. But they are already fairly tight, so I don't really need to worry about that. This is appearing good. Let's get a little tighter here, so we go down a little bit. Alright, let's work on the back corners. So the whole goal is to zero in on that perfect spot. A little bit too much tension. And if you look closely at these the leveling knobs there, they do have arrows to tell you which way to turn it, so you know if you want the bed down, you go one way, if you want it up, you go the other. So now that we've kind of roughed it in, we start zeroing in on the perfect height. It's pretty good all around so far on that side. And we can confirm by moving over here. A little tight, so let's give a couple turns. Here we go. Oh, you know what? That's plagued me. I'm just gonna relieve the tension on this because I believe. Oh shit! I got a tab. Nope. Here we go. Need to relieve that tension. So it should really be up like that. There we go. That should do the trick. There. Solved. So remember to do that. You want that up, not dragging. Not only is that going to give you problems with your filament binding, but it's also going to make it difficult to level your bed if it's putting friction on the thing that you're trying to use as your indicator. Now let's raise that bed up a little bit. Just a bit more. Too much. Perfect. We're looking for just a little bit of friction. We don't want it enough to grab it. And you can always adjust that as your prints are progressing. That's looking perfect. Let's go to the center of the bed. Already it's getting a little bit looser, so I think we can raise up the back side of our bed a bit. Or I should say, yeah, I can come up a little bit. Just a little. Here we go. And one more. I think we're good. I think we're really good. Let's give it a test to see if all of our motors are working now. So I'm going to fire it up. Like I said, you want to get your bed set up good and proper before you start messing around with your motors, because we're going to test everything out one by one. As well, we should have leveled the bed with the heater going, because you're going to have some thermal expansion happening. I'm not too worried about it at this point. If my prints start giving me some problems, I'll fine tune them. So looks like we got version 1.1.9 Marlin firmware on there. It's not new, but it's not old. It's not a problem. It's going to be good. All right, let's check stuff out. So I am going to move the axis. I'll start with the Z axis. We're going to move it up 10. Let's move it more. That's good. Let's test our x-axis at over 40 degrees, or 40 mils. Just got to wait for the z-axis to do its thing. There we go. Now we're going to move it back. Oh, actually, let's do the Y. All right. Let's do the auto home. Man, this thing is quiet. Loving it already. Okay, before we go any further, let's just do a quick recap for what you want to watch out for when you're setting this up. First thing, make sure your Bowden tube and wire are going above it. So that might mean that you'll have to manually lower your Z-axis, and you can do that by turning these two at the same time, and that'll get you lowered so that you can plug it in or screw it in that way, route it over top right there. Also, relieve your Bowden tube pressure there so that you can properly route that up. So we don't want that kinked down like that. The only way to move that is by releasing the tension on that pneumatic tube, because it locks it in place. And then when you're done doing that, make sure it's all the way in, because you want that tube to go right down into your nozzle there all the way. Make sure that's good there. All right, and it's clear that the end stops are all working because it stops when we home it. Now let's see if we can heat this bed up. So I'm going to do that now. In fact, while we're at it, let's just see what we have for preheat settings. So I'm just going to go to prepare, preheat PLA. Actually, let's go back to our control, and we will see what we have set for. Oh, whoops. PLA. Okay, so it's set for 210. That's pretty good for most filaments. 60. That's a hotter bed than I like, especially on this glass. Never worked with it before either, so I'm going to set it for whatever, 60. Let's do 60. 60 is a good one. 59, 60, 210. Let's store these settings. There we go. That is stored. Alright. Let's prepare. Preheat PLA. Let's do both at the same time. See what happens. There we go. Nozzles 24, 26, 28, working good. The bed's at 22, it's rising. 23, all right. Let's heat that up. And oh, you can hear the fans coming on. It's still amazingly quiet. I love this. It's so quiet. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna, never mind. I was gonna turn on my other one just to compare it. We can do that some other time. I'm not here to talk about anything else but this Eryone Thinker SE. I love it so far. Nozzle's heating up quick. I'm going to have to, no, I'm just going to raise that up a bit. Oops. Raise my Z-axis up. 70. And now let's throw in some filament. So I've had some delicious Eryone blue and green filament that I bought back in February or March. I haven't had the pleasure or the luxury of using it. Where did I do that? Oh, there we go, right over here. Here we are, right here. What did I grab? Blue. I've been wanting to do this. Use this for a long time. There we are. Eryone PL8. That is beautiful. Let's load it up. La 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 la. Okay. Snippy snippy. And this will go all the way down into here. And we'll leave tension there. Oh, that's going to be cumbersome, all right. Oh man. Okay. Let's just give it a little bit of a downward direction. Hopefully we can feed that in. Good, there we go. Got it. Like threading an IV, except I've never threaded an IV before. Oh shit. I should probably use the load filament setting, but whatever. Oh, here it comes. Oh, there's black stuff coming out. It's not my filament. Oh, what is that? They've obviously tested this, which is great. And that or something's melting inside. Let's purge that crap out of there. Oh man, there's lots in there. There. Perfect. That texture they got. Oh, what's going on? Well, there we go. Oh, okay, so did a little purge line. What is going on? It's not looking good. I'm just gonna steal this from the bed. I need to raise up the bed a bit, so I'm not getting good adhesion there. Just enough that we can feel it. Here. Well, it just takes a while. Once you get it zeroed in, then you're perfect. Then you're golden. Alright, here we are. It's another day. Wasn't able to finish the bed leveling there. It got too late. At any rate, just got back from work. I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to go ahead and warm up my bed and my nozzle, because I like to do everything warm, just in case if anything gives thermal expansion. And once that's warmed up, I'm going to do final leveling of this bed and then do a test print. And start printing. Looks like some good adhesion there. Smooshing it beautifully. That's the kind of adhesion you want, where the individual layers kind of melt to each other. That is what you're looking for a good first layer. Now if they're looking too thin, that means you got too much adhesion and you're gonna have problems pulling your print off. Anyhow, let's let this finish and come back to it in a while and see how it looks. I have no idea what this file is anyhow. It was just on the SD card that came with the printer. So I don't know what we have in store. Hopefully it's fantastic and fun and nice. Yeah, we'll check back in a few minutes or hour or whatever. I have no idea how long this one's gonna take. I recognize that. I do. I recognize it. I recognize that. It's one of these, only bigger and in blue. This actually, by the way, is Eryone Ultra Silver. Sorry, Eryone Ultra Silk Silver. Did a review on this. It's good stuff. But that's Eryone Blue. Some form of blue. And I'm liking it. Definitely liking it. It's beautiful blue. Excellent blue. Oh, it is beautiful. Look at that. It's magnificent. And it's almost done. Alright, so before that calibration cube finishes off, let's just quickly do a recap of everything this printer came with. And go through the extra gift splash spare screws bag that they sent with this printer here. So first off, like I said, we've got comes with an SD card with looks like a manual and some files on there. Don't know, never checked it out. Also comes with this little micro SD card adapter so you can use it in your computer. Comes with a micro USB cable. Not a big fan of micro USB. If they had USB-C, I would have been impressed. Micro USB is kind of a thing of the past, and if you're plugging in and out often, you've got issues with that connector breaking. And I just like the fact that it's here on the side. If you want to do that, maybe put it in the back so that it's not going to get hit or anything. I mean, this limits, you know, you shouldn't have it in tight spaces anyhow. And I mean, the clearance here, obviously you need clearance for your side of your gantry there, but still, I don't like wires hanging off the sides of things. That makes this whole space here unusable. I can't put anything here if I wanted to. Anyhow, moving on. You know, comes with a wrench. I'm thinking for probably removing the nozzle. It's a 7mm. We got our nice snips here. I used it to snap the zip ties holding a couple things, but I imagine this could also be used to well, snip filament. I'm using side cutters. And these are my favorite side cutters. I don't think I'll ever switch to something like this, but the fact that they give that's awesome. Again, these nice Allen wrenches. I prefer these guys here 100%. I've stopped using these. You know, they do have their benefits there, but I mean, these are a lot more ergonomic to use. These are great if you can't get into something, you need them. So I mean, they are still a necessity, but 9 times out of 10 these guys will do the trick. So buy some of these. Absolutely. Comes with a putty knife for print removal. I think that'll just damage your print bed if anything. Comes with a little jeweler screwdriver too. Again, it's tiny. I don't like using things that are so small. You can help it, don't use it, use something else. Now, let's take a look at the spare gifts here. Let's see what it has. I think probably got a nozzle cleaner and replacement Bowden tube. There we go. So it comes with spare Bowden tube, spare GT2 belt. I suppose that's handy to have. Now these two clips here, I have no idea what those are for. Unless maybe they're clamps for, okay, they could be possibly clamps to clamp those down, I don't know. It's possible, I'll have to look. It looks like a nozzle cleaner. So if you ever have a clogged nozzle, got a spare nozzle here. Very cool. Couple spare pneumatic fittings, one for your nozzle, one for the extruder side of things, and some spare screws. So if you ever lose anything, you're good to go. You got a spare nozzle. I like that. So now we're just waiting for that print to finish so we can do some more prints. Oh, it's beautiful. Let's see if it comes off easy. Should we wait? Should wait for it to... There you have it. That is beautiful. Lovely print. Flawless. A treasure in every way. Let's get this brim off. Oh, I need a second hand. That's, man, beautiful. Beautiful quality. I am so happy with this. Yeah, I see a little bit of ghosting in that. Do I want to tune that out, or is it damn good enough? At this point is good enough. So I've been enjoying this Eryone Thinker SE for the last couple weeks. I've had it downstairs in temporary test area, but haven't been able to use it as much as I want, because I can't be really productive while I'm playing around with it because it's not in my computer room. So I got to run up and down the stairs, throw things on an SD card and that. So I am putting it in this permanent spot right here. And what I noticed on this little coffee table I got from a buddy of mine, there's no rubber feet on this one. Now I checked the packaging that it came in case I overlooked it. There's nothing on this. So I've got some 3M little rubber feet I bought for another of my projects. I'm going to throw some on here. I'm hoping that it's not recessed enough where it'll make contact. So I'm going to throw that on there, try it out. Be back in a second. And perfection. A little smaller than I would have liked, but it's all I had on hand. Worked like a charm. If you feel around there, you'll find, oh, I already lost one. Great. There. That should do the trick. So everyone, if you are watching this video, put some rubber feet in with your printers, because I mean, didn't have a problem on my other surface, but there's a lot of surfaces, tabletops that are like that, and that thing's gonna walk itself off a table if you're not careful. Just saying. I'm gonna throw some on the power supply too, because that is very gonna be easily knocked off. Don't want that happening. So everyone, if you're listening to me, please in the future put some of these on your printers that you're selling, because I'm sure someone eventually is gonna have their settings high and the thing's gonna jerk itself right off a table. Yeah. On with the review. Okay guys, final word on this printer. I love it. It's a workhorse. If I'm ever gonna buy any more, I'm definitely thinking of Eryone. The bed, absolutely love it. It is my favorite. I print at 70 degrees Celsius, and once things cool down, I can just tap those prints off. Phenomenal. You can see there, I am printing myself, or actually for my son, a low poly Charmeleon. I already did him a Charmander the other day. I've got a little bit of a habit forming here with these low polys. Anyhow, guys, highly recommend the Eryone Thinker SE. Seriously, if I was looking to buy one, this had everything I wanted. It's got a tall build area, over a 300 mil build surface here. Absolutely love it. Should suit most of your needs. The only thing I could make this better is if it came with rubber feet on here, as you seen in the video there. Pop some rubber feet on there myself, and I love this thing. Absolutely love it. Hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna retire my my original Prusa i3. It's due for an upgrade anyhow. I mean, I'm running 2208s on it. Anyhow, thanks for watching this video, guys. If you are thinking about a 3D printer, give the Eryone Thinker SE a shot, because I think you're gonna like it, because I love it. That's right. 2 weeks. Lots of calibrations. Tons of calibrations. Been doing some functional prints. Been printing trinkets. Enjoying this. And it wasn't all fun and games. Alright, time to finalize this video once and for all. So I'm just going to do a quick wrap up of everything I can tell you off the top of my head. So if you get one of these, like I said, the instructions are a little bit vague or don't go into enough detail at all. Or tell you the right things. So remember, relieve that tension on that bowden. Don't leave it all twisted up. Make sure you get that bowden and wires on your extruder there set properly. So you're gonna have to lower your Z-axis by hand a little bit just to get it into there. And like I said, you want the proper placement of that Bowden tube in the wiring. Also, make sure you get that spool holder turned around the right way. If you watch my video, you'll see it all exactly. One thing that really caught me off guard and caused me a few days of grief trying to overcome the problem of bed adhesion. The test file that came on the SD card that they sent me, I think it was set to 60 or 65 degrees Celsius for the bed temperature. That works fine if you're using a brim, but if you don't use a brim, you are not going to have your print sticking to the bed. So get that up to 70 degrees at least, I found. I haven't tried down to 65 much. Like I said, that's kind of where I'd started out and I was having issues. Brought up to 80, boom, night and day. Everything's stuck at that point. I've whittled it down so far to 70 degrees. I'm leaving it there because I'm happy with it. It's beautiful. Play around with your slicer settings. Make sure you get your fan going good on second layer and above. You want some good cooling, because depending on your temperature that you're printing at, you're going to get some curling up and that. But that's obviously, if you've ever done any printing before, that's nothing new to you. If you are new to 3D printing, your parts cooler is your best friend. It's going to save you headaches. Also too, when you're setting your first, your bed leveling, it recommends using the paper there. That's all fine, but you're probably gonna also find that you're gonna want to get it a little tighter in there to squish into the little textured surface of the glass there. So set it with paper. Someone on Reddit the other day mentioned using receipt paper. That'll get you a little bit closer too. And then after that, in your slicer settings, set yourself a huge circle skirt with, say 3 lines. And do that for the first week of printing. That way, and slow your print down to a slow speed so that you can manually adjust those knobs on the bed, because those knobs are big. You can do them live, freestyling it while you're starting your print. So you can watch that first layer there, make sure it's smushing good around the perimeter of your bed there. Once you get that set, you should really never have to touch that. So like I said, start off with your paper and then fine tune it, own in that distance there. And my rule number one, before you do anything when you're testing your motors with that, hit your auto home, make sure everything's going in the right direction, but manually test out your Z stop or your Z stop. Do it with your finger. That way, you know, while it's still up high, if you wait for it to use the end stop there and that end stop ain't working, you're going to crash into your beds. Just test that with your finger. All you got to do is press that little metal lever there. You know, do that. My first printer, I had that issue. Slammed right into the bed. Luckily nothing broke, but it came pretty damn close because the whole thing was made out of plastic. Acrylic sheets, so I got lucky there. Anyhow, always test that out. Whatever print you are, first time you're running it, test the end stop with your finger. Don't let it slam into the bed. You know, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this video has been helpful for you. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I love the Thinker SE. Absolutely love it. It's a pleasure using it. You know, I like my old printer sitting right over there. You know, there'll always be a place in my heart for that printer. But my Thinker SE, this is my new favorite. Big place in my heart. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.